Oh, hey there! Welcome to This Week in Swing Things, Twist, Episode 3. This week we're taking a look at the women of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, Jen Hodge, Theresa Manney, and the Coquette Jazz Band. So it looks like releasing these on the weekends is a little bit better for my schedule, so look out for new episodes of Twist on either Saturday or Sundays when they get released. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I encourage you to do that so I can get my own custom URL, youtube.com/PaulDancesTV. Something like that. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Here we go. March is Women's History Month, and I thought it would be cool to feature the women of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, if nothing else because I myself don't know much about them, and I thought it would be a good learning experience. As a quick and easily digestible way to get started, I figured we could watch through Hellzapoppin together and pause to give a little information on each woman. Now, I realize some of you might not have heard of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers or Hellzapoppin, and that's okay, I'll fill you in. Whitey's Lindy Hoppers was a performance group of incredible dancers that was first put together by Herbert Whitey White in the Savoy Ballroom. They toured in the US, Europe, and were featured on Broadway stages and in notable Hollywood films. One of these films is called Hellzapoppin, and its dance scene is one of the best records we have of performance Lindy Hop from that time. If you haven't seen it in its entirety, I'll have a link in the comments below. A few things to note. This piece was choreographed by Frankie Manning to Jumpin' at the Woodside. The other song was added later so that the studio didn't have to secure the rights from Count Basie. The dancers were dressed up as domestic workers and laborers, and this was often how Black Americans were portrayed on stage and film at the time. The entire dance scene actually has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, and it made it a convenient way to be able to omit the scene in order to cater to audiences in the South. For further reading and information, check out 7 Things You Should Know About Hellzapoppin by Rick Amatic on Yahudi.com. Now, let's jump into it.
Here comes something now.
This is Frances Mickey Jones. Her full name is Frances Alberta Paris Jones Mitchell. Now, our first featured lady was the most difficult to find information on. I'll make this my official call for help. If anyone has any information or stories about her, please let me know, and we'll feature it sometime in the future. What information I did find was on findagrave.com and submitted by a user M. It was information that she lived from 1918 to 1982. She was one of 12 children born to Mary Jane Irwin and Joseph Paris. She started going to the Savoy at an early age and was selected to be part of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers before she finished high school. She married her childhood sweetheart and had 2 children. She and her second husband raised her nephew from infancy, and one of her last pleasures was knowing that the Lindy was coming back. This is Norma Miller. First thing I've got to say, it took me this long into their dance before I could find a still that showed her face that wasn't blurry because they are going so ham. I've got to say, looking through Hellzapoppin frame by frame was a pretty incredible experience and would recommend 10 out of 10. Okay, so Norma, she's the queen of swing. She was born December 2nd, 1919 and lived until May 5th, 2019. She had a life full of performing. She was a dancer, choreographer, actress, producer, author, and comedian. She was the youngest member of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers at the age of 14. Because of her age, she was often not admitted to clubs and ballrooms around Harlem, but would either dance outside or sneak in. After her time with Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, she formed Norma Miller's Dance Company and later Norma Miller's Jazzmen. As a comedian, she worked in Las Vegas with Red Fox for over 10 years. She was a lifelong friend of Frankie Manning. She is deeply loved and valued in today's swing dance community and would often sit on panels and do interviews for today's dancers. If you've not watched one of Norma Miller's interviews, I highly recommend checking it out. Norma is not afraid to tell it as it is. She's bold, brave, hilarious, and serious about jazz dance and music. Here's an excerpt from an interview with Latasha Barnes at Harangue Dance Camp provided by the Frankie Manning Foundation and Yehudi. I'll link the full interview in the description.
My life is I got more life in back of me than I got in front of me. Now, I'm going to try to spend it as much as I can, as happy as I can. And if I can participate and give you something I can leave you with, I'm very happy to do so. But if you don't take it, I don't care. All I want to know is, please don't forget us. You know, it's easy to forget us.
So in not forgetting, who are the dancers that you want to make sure we don't forget?
Don't forget Frankie.
Willa Mae Ricker lived from 1910 to 1978, and she was known for her physical strength, fashion sense, dependability, business acumen, and passion to dance. And according to Norma, she was the first dancer to demand fair pay for the women of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers. She regularly partnered with Frankie Manning, and he said she was one of the greats of Lindy Hop. She was the soul and heart of the dance, and specifically noted her skills and strengths doing air steps. She married another one of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, Billy Ricker, although the couple rarely danced together professionally. During World War II, she spent some time managing the Harlem Congaroos, a subgroup of Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, and after her dance career, she took up a career as a fashion model. Ann Johnson is another dancer I couldn't find a ton of information on, so please steer me in the direction of additional resources if you've got them. All I could really find was what Frankie said about her. He said that she was like a cat. No matter what way I threw her, she would land on her feet. She was also a wonderful human being. She danced with Frankie Manning from 1940 to 1942 and again after the war in 1947 and 1952. One story I do remember from Frankie's book regarding Anne was actually talking about Hellzapoppin and how she was afraid to kick him too hard for one of their steps. He told her, "Look, Anne, we're making a movie now," and asked her to really commit to the kick, but later regretted it, saying, "I don't think I sat down for a month." Well, that's it for this week's Jazz and Dance History. I'm really enjoying the process of going through this material, and I'm learning a lot. I encourage y'all to submit something to this segment. Please reach out if you have questions or ideas. Jen Hodge is a bass player, vocalist, bandleader, and arranger. She originally hails from Western Canada and relocated to New York City in the fall of 2019. Jen's playing is characterized by hard swinging grooves, an expressive and energetic playing style, and an evident, infectious love for making music. Her steadfast bass playing and consummate professionalism have taken her to stages all over Canada, the US, China, Spain, France, the UK, Sweden, and the Caribbean. Before her move to New York City, Jen played a significant role in cultivating a traditional jazz and swing community in Vancouver, leading a popular weekly gig for 9 years where seasoned musicians jammed, young musicians learned the ropes, and dancers tore up the dance floor. An in-demand musician in the global swing dance community, Jen has appeared at such notable events as Harangue, Lindy Focus, ILHC, and Camp Jitterbug, with the likes of Jonathan Stout, the Candy Jacket Jazz Band, Greg Ruby's Rhythm Runners, and at local dances on tour in the US, Canada, and Europe with Solomon Douglas, Gordon Webster, and Tamar Korn. She can be heard on recordings by Gordon Owl, Glenn Kreitzer's Savoy 7, Noah Hawker, the Brothers Arnson, and the Greg Ruby 6. And she has also released 3 full-length albums and a Christmas EP with her own Jen Hodge All-Stars project. The latest of these, The Girl in the Groove, came out this past October and charted in the top 10 in the North American College and Community Radio Jazz charts in the weeks following its release. During the pandemic, Jen has been staying with her parents in her small hometown on Vancouver Island. She has managed to keep busy by practicing bass and tuba, writing and recording new arrangements for Cowbell Live in January, participating in interviews and online events, and hosting a monthly broadcast where she DJs 78 RPM records using her antique wind-up phonograph. She has also been doing a lot of jigsaw puzzles with her parents, learning to play English concertina, mixing cocktails, and getting to know her new baby nephew. Jen can't wait to get back to performing full-time again when it's safe to do so, and looks forward to returning to New York to be reunited with her friends, her sousaphone, and her fabulous shoe collection. This week's dance friend is Theresa Manney, and it was submitted by Joy Jing. Theresa, I just wanted the world to know, in case they didn't already, that you are such a badass. You're an incredibly inspiring dancer and person, always pushing yourself to grow and become even better at everything that you do. I miss dancing with you and staying up through all of the late night dances at events, while still waking up in time to make it to morning classes. I love that you're always down to try new things and that you don't let anything stand in your way. I miss petting your dog Hondo and can't wait to travel and dance with you again. This week's Creators Corner is a shout out to a band submitted by Marcus Mogg in Graz, Austria. Marcus, I apologize in advance for the name pronunciations. I will do my best. Shout out to my friend Matthias Pop's awesome swinging band, the Coquette Jazz Band. Based in Vienna and Graz before COVID hit, the band was formed by Matthias and his friends while studying at the Jazz Institute of the University of Performing Arts in Graz and consists of some young talent from all over Europe about to emerge in the scene. While living in Austria, its members are originally from Hungary, Ukraine, Latvia, Serbia, and Croatia. Featuring Elena Veluma on vocals, Milos Milosevic on clarinet and sax, Matthias Pop on trombone, Matthias Bartha on piano, Daniel Hofecker on trumpet, Matthias Hofecker, and Hervja Kralj on bass, and Oleg Markvos on drum. Not only was it one of the bands that performed regularly at our socials, teaching us the great value of live music, it also headlined our local festival in 2019 with a big band recruited from their fellow Jazz Institute students and teachers. Matthias also worked as an arranger for other local jazz bands. We can't wait to dance to their tunes again. All right, it is time to talk about current events, and I have just one to talk about this week, and that is the Global Online Social. The Global Online Social happens over at twitch.tv/Pauldances, and it's a once-a-month show where I gather a bunch of DJs together and we raise money for charity. This month's charity is Heartsupport, and they're incredibly active on Twitch and a few other platforms. They provide a space and a network of help for people struggling with anxiety and depression, and just letting people know in general that they're loved and thought of and cared for. I've been familiar... I've met a few people that work at Heartsupport, and I've been active with them on Twitch. They're really, really amazing people, and we're hoping to raise $1,000 this Thursday, the 18th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time all the way till 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. You can tune in any time of the day. Come check it out, dance with us, hang out with us, enjoy jazz music and jazz history together. It's a good time. Check it out. Now, if you want to support the channel, again, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so because I'm trying to get that custom URL. You can also head over to twitch.tv/Pauldances. I try to stream at least twice a week, 3 times a week. If you have Amazon Prime, you can actually support me on Twitch at no further cost to you. Basically, Twitch is owned by Amazon, and as part of your Prime benefits, you can do 1 free subscription per month on Twitch. So head over to twitch.tv/Pauldances. Also, one other way to support the channel if you're interested, and if you've watched YouTube at all, you're probably familiar with Skillshare. Laura and I have put together a bunch of Lindy Hop lessons for Skillshare, and you can follow the link below in the description and get 2 months for free and probably make it through all of the material that we've uploaded. Take the lessons, especially if you're new to Lindy Hop, or forward them to a friend or family member that might be interested in eventually learning how to dance. So with that, that is the end of the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for hanging out. Submit things. We'll see you during the Global Online Social. Make good choices.